as I like to say, nothing good happens when two men are trapped in a giant phallus.
Yeah.
What made your last keeper leave?
He believed that there was some enchantment in the light.
Robert, can you talk a little bit about how this project was born for you?
My brother was trying to finish. Edgar Allan Poe died writing a lighthouse story. My brother wanted to finish that, and he told me he was writing a ghost story in a lighthouse. And when he said ghost story in a lighthouse, which is not this movie, I pictured the black and white, crusty, dusty, rusty atmosphere of this movie, the boxy aspect ratio, two lighthouse keepers, facial hair, clay pipes, rolled cigarettes, the whole, the world atmosphere. And my brother and I worked together in the end to find a story that would match this atmosphere that I pictured from Max's concept.
Went mad, he did.
Tall tales.
What?
Willem, can you talk a little bit about what interested you in this project?
Well, first of all, I saw The Witch and I was crazy about it. So I tracked him down and I talked to him and I said, well, when you have something to do, I'd love to, if you have something to do for me to do in one of your films, talk to me. And this was it. So I was already predisposed because he gave me something I asked for, and that was to work with him. But then I read the script and I loved the language, I loved the events, I loved the world. And it was a proposal for an adventure, and to enter that world, I wanted to be in that lighthouse world.
What? What? What?
What? What?
What?
What?
What?
What?
What?
What? What?
We live in a world that most of us feel a little bit anxious or isolated, despite being surrounded by people and information. How do you think the lighthouse talks for the society nowadays?
Well, I think that you spoke about something very specific and clear. I don't try to write with any intended message. I just say, yeah, I want to make a black and white movie about lighthouse keepers, and I try to get inside their head. That's what my brother and I are doing in the writing process, is to get inside these characters' head and just think about how 19th century people think. Like, I don't live in a vacuum, and I am affected by the zeitgeist, and so things come out. Otherwise, this movie would only work for people who were alive in the 1890s, and that wouldn't be very good. Most people have found The Witch to be a feminist film. Again, that wasn't my intention. I just wanted to make a movie about witches. But when I stand back, I would agree objectively. And so this movie, a lot of people say, is about like toxic masculinity. Again, not my intention. But if not all masculinity is toxic, but masculinity in this movie sure is, and I can see that. And as I like to say, nothing good happens when two men are trapped in a giant phallus.
Yeah. Willem, we got the chance to talk 9 years ago when you were in Rio presenting A Woman.
Yep.
And after that you bring a play here, and you work with Babenco, and you were searching for locations for a movie here.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about this new relationship with Brazil?
It's all those things, and also, Brazil is a place that I discovered sort of through my wife, and it initially started out through Brazilian music, because that's what brought us here initially. Many years I came with a play as well. So, I don't know, it's a country that fascinates me, and I keep on coming back. That's all I can really say, because each time I come back, it's with something slightly different, so I see a different aspect of Brazil.
Yeah, and you guys are working together again, as I learned. Can you talk a little bit about the Northman?
Not much. It was leaked, so I now that it's out there, so I'm not gonna like pretend it's not. But yeah, I like folk tales, fairy tales, mythology, religion, and the past. So expect as much.
And
I like working with Willem Dafoe.
Let Neptune strike ye dead, Winslow! Ho!